Hello, and welcome to another episode of playing Crusader Kings 3 using the hardest possible rule set, starting as Alexios Komnenos in the Byzantine Empire in 1066. Alexios was a very strong character. He ended up being a 4-star stewardship character, took over the Byzantine Empire at age 19, built quite a few buildings in his domain, strengthened the economy of the empire. But unfortunately, all that ruling really took a toll on his health, apparently. He became infirm at 47, started racking with other health traits, elder health traits, and then died in his early 50s, leaving his son Traianos II to be ruler. You see, Traianos is quite a good character here, except for the glaring problem that he has a terrible education. And that happened even though Alexios was Traianos' guardian, trained him himself. We had a very good tutor. We built the library building here in our estate to increase educational outcomes, but none of it helped. And so when Traianos took over, he faced a number of factions, had to give in to a liberty faction, and had to fight a very large claimant faction, which we did with the help of some mercenaries and the pretenders to the Holy Roman Empire. With all that done, the question now is, where do we go with Traianos? He is only 26, you see here, so quite young. He's not yet married to his betrothed, but getting close. And I think for Traianos, there are two basic paths. One is, despite his poor education, to lean in to a martial lifestyle and start attacking neighboring rulers, particularly to our east, these Muslim rulers, see if we can take more land and improve our gold in situation that way. Other option is to have him become a steward, have him go down the stewardship lifestyle, get wealth focus, get some of the traits and the wealth or avaricious tree of the stewardship lifestyle, try to boost our gold a bit, and then when Traianos is perhaps in his mid-40s, switch back to a martial lifestyle and see what sort of conquest he can do, hopefully. Of those two options, I do think the second one is probably the better. You can see here our unraised men-at-arms are costing us 25 gold a month. If we raise them, we're going to be losing money on both our personal income and our treasury income here. And so I just don't think we have the economy at the moment to sustain a lot of conquest. So I am going to change him to stewardship if I can, wealth focus. And again, we're really looking to get these perks here, golden obligations, my domain, hair guild, detailed ledgers, all very powerful. Hopefully we'll be able to send Traianos to university at some point, get his education up, let him increase his domain holding limit, which will knock down some of these penalties. You can see as part of playing on the hardest possible rule set, we are playing with -3 domain limit for the player only, which hurts Traianos quite a bit. Because we just put down a revolt, many of our vassals are in prison. I don't think I have any characters of my dynasty who might be able to take over a duchy if I strip it from one of my rebellious vassals, but let's just check. No. Okay, so I think what we'll do is just leave them in prison for now. What I do want to do is, for my vassals that are still free, but that don't have very good governor efficiency, I want to start mentoring them. This is similar to what we did with Alexios. Mentor someone that I have a good chance of success with. Unfortunately, I gave away the kingdom or Cataphanate of Bulgaria during the problems with the factions. That was simply a mistake on my part. I am going to try to get that back at some point. But probably a lesson there to calm down, think about what you're doing, when you're playing, and don't make accidental mistakes even when a lot of stuff is happening around you. Really having a difficult time. Maybe it's my character is just not going to be good at mentoring people. I don't know. Having a hard time finding anyone that we can mentor here. I don't think you can mentor people in prison. Yeah. I don't really plan on letting them out of prison anytime soon, so... Man, there's just... not a lot of people here. Okay, can't even mentor her in governance. I'm looking for someone... yeah, so this, you know, this means it'd be very difficult for me to mentor him. The two red arrows pointing down, and then the red X means he won't even let me mentor him. He won't accept it, so I guess let's try this guy. I think it's like the best odds I've seen. Also, I want to look through our themes here and particularly look at our obligation types. Go down to here where we haven't assigned an obligation type, and you'll see what they should be. I usually go naval, then frontier, then civilian, and I'm going to follow that here. You know, naval just has a good mix of both military and economic benefits. The 10% development growth gives access to naval duchy expansion, casus belli, so your vassals can conquer a good amount of territory for you. Frontier is more military oriented, but you see it does have a number of good advantages here. Also has a duchy expansion, casus belli, and then civilian simply gives us more taxes, more gold. There's probably an argument, given our weak economy, that we should really focus on changing more of these themes to be civilian, but while I am trying to focus on our economy, you know, I do want my vassals to keep conquering for me if they can. So it looks like almost all of these we can make naval. Some of them we don't get the option to change for whatever reason. Cyprus obviously should be naval. Same for Salerno. I do think we have a few that are still feudal. I wonder, okay, well, we'll just have her become administrative. That'd be good. She's our other kingdom level title holder here in Serbia. Would like to take that from her at some point. Yeah, none of these people are getting out. Guess we'll spend all that gold, unfortunately. This coronation, I don't really go to. Not terribly interested in going to other people's coronations. So really what we're going to be doing here is trying to go to other people's activities. You know, this is Prince Heinrich, who just helped us, so we'll go to his grand wedding. Let's see, on the way back we will try to hit a number of points of interest because we really want to increase our lifestyle experience if we can. See how much this increases the danger. I want to do all this on the way back because we don't have a whole lot of time to get out there to him. But I think on the way out there I do want to at least hit that one. Maybe even hit that one. Will we still make it? I think so. Alright, so then we'll do this. I'm concerned about getting all that stress. Let's try it. Okay, that was lucky. It is a lot of gold. So this is what confused me before. Obviously, there's a duchy called Bulgaria, obviously a kingdom also called Bulgaria, and I thought I was uh, promoting someone for the duchy instead of giving away the kingdom level title. I mean, I'm fine to get, the influence here, I think. Again, the plan is to take that back, that kingdom level title back at some point. Let's see about giving this woman's appropriate theme here. Naval seems good. Again, we're not going to be ransoming anyone. Really? Another faction? Okay, just peasant rabble. I was quite surprised because, frankly, a lot of my vassals are in prison at this point, so I'm not sure how many are left to even rebel. But they do seem to be doing a good job of escaping, unfortunately. We could ransom them, but because we're playing on very hard, we only get a quarter amount of the ransoms that we would if we were playing on regular difficulty, and so it's almost not really worth ransoming them. And that's interesting, but I think not. Hopefully this works. Good. Don't care if someone's trying to murder him. I probably should be concerned about someone trying to murder me. Let's just redouble the guards just to be on the safe side. Also fill out some of these positions. We don't need a tutor or wet nurse at the moment, but we certainly want to fill those if we have a child. Alright. He is very strong. Excellent knight. I guess we'll take him. Find him a spouse. Keep him happier so he doesn't leave our court. And again, with all the faction issues we've had, I'd rather just have my rebellious vassals stay in prison. They can think about what they've done. Maybe a few decades from now, I'll release them if they're still alive. But rather not have them engaging in more plots against me. Alright, that should help him come to my wars if I need him. Try to get the lifestyle perk here. That's what I almost always do. We'll take thoughtful given our vassal problems. Let's see if there's anyone else I can mentor. Guess we'll give it a shot. Get out of treasury debt. I guess we'll praise him. The other option was to go to the bottom one and get the maximum amount of stress relief. I think let's do this. We'll be best friends with the pretender to the Roman throne. The ironies of foreign politics. So here, I always like getting those first three in blood. We've done that, so we can move on. Someone else had actually gotten the first rank of kin here, the first dynasty legacy. That was done when I was still just a 10-year-old duke and someone else was leading the dynasty. But because that has happened, and also I often like going down this line. I think we're going to go with studious youth. The other option here would be to go down warfare, which playing at this difficulty level I often do because you need to be as powerful as possible to take on the AI in general and Scourge Conquerors in particular. But given our recent problems with having our children get good education, I think studious youth actually may be the more valuable one. So hopefully, when we do have children, they will actually end up with a good education, unlike our current character. Take the stress loss and the prestige. When we get back to Constantinople, I think we'll likely hold a chariot race, which should give us a lot of treasury. As you probably can tell from my prior campaigns, I often start in Europe, and by the time I get to the Byzantines and hybridize with Greek culture and get the ability to run chariot races, they're really just for fun. Other cultures don't get to do chariot races. You're like, oh, chariot race, great. And I usually don't really pay attention too much to the mechanics of them are, what the actual benefits to them are. But here, since we're playing as the Byzantines and we are not very powerful yet, you really look at what holding a chariot race gets for you, and primarily, if you get lucky, you get some gold, but primarily it gives you a large amount of treasury, which is quite good. We can certainly use it. Let's see if our bookmaker is okay. Charioteer is good. Don't think these peasants will be much of an issue, but you never know. You can see here with just our men-at-arms raise, we're losing a lot of treasury and a little bit of gold personal income. We're now married. We'll romance our wife. I want to go down this line to get prepared conscription first, which will help with our economy by reducing the cost of our army by a bit. Definitely take the gold here. See if we can become a wise man. We did not. Looks like he would be a pretty good knight, so let's have him do that. Get him married to someone. We can change our development here to our holding with the least development. The other option would be Callipolis down here. I think we'll go Hairgeld, then Detailed Ledgers, and then It Is My Domain. Low enough stress to develop capital. Well, maybe. It's a lot of stress. See if we can cash in any of these hooks. We are going to need to build some buildings at some point. Improve our control in the areas where the peasants just rebelled. Usually I'm cautious with medical treatment, so nothing too terrible happens to either me or my relatives. We will hold a triumph here. We did have a victory, even if it was an internal one. Give away this castle holding to someone. I think we'll go to the Hippodrome and give a speech. That should help our economy here. See, we're making a good bit more gold now. I think let's hold the chariot race, and then hopefully after that we can send Traianos to university. Bookmaker just died, not great after. Signed to hold a chariot race, but I guess the person who replaced him is roughly as good as he is. What happened to Hungary? Vogel Ural happened. We just cannot. It's weird that we cannot become a tributary of this empire. Okay, I need to take a break right here. I'll combine this with the next episode. All right, we're back. Usually I just trust their judgment, though often they just take away my treasury budget and hand out to my vassals, which I guess is good over the long run. One thing I also wanted to look at is our culture here, particularly the innovation. Don't think we need knighthood. I think we're best off getting another building slot in our buildings throughout the entirety of Greek culture. You can see here we are, 13 more years for industrious. That should really help our economy. Allow us to build windmills and quarter wheels early. Also increase our development. Guess we'll put this guy there. Hopefully someday we'll be able to increase our domain limit and hold on to some of these baronies within our counties, but today is certainly not that day. Let's hold off on improving our state for a little while until we build up the gold. I think it's 1,500 to send Traianos to university. Unfortunately, his stress level is quite bad. All these are bad. We'll just make him craven. Hopefully our brother does not become our heir. Of course, hoping to have our own children that will succeed us. Okay, it's going to get a ton of stress anyway. At least we get athletic, which is good. So, I have to take a feast. I guess people are just dying all over the place. We've had a lot of trouble with plagues. We are playing on Doomsday plagues with unlimited random black deaths, so having out plagues is just a part of what's going to happen here. Okay, I talked before about because we are playing with the Hearth Possible rule set, we have a lot, we have some additional nomadic realms And your nomadic realms will rebel against you, send out raiders periodically unless you aid their tribal development, which takes a gigantic amount of money. Really, this is part of the reason to make these additional areas nomadic is force you to spend this money. It's kind of unfortunate, of course, but we'll just bite the bullet now. And the other option would be simply let them rebel and then we fight them and not spend this gold at this time. But frankly, that's probably the better option, was just to handle them later. But in any case, we've done it, so we'll move on. Can't hedge my bets because of the ridiculous stress, so we'll do this. Try to lose stress here, even though I'm guessing our chances of winning this are going to be quite small. I'm already at max legitimacy, so let's take the influence. I don't want to lay with her or pay her that much money. Alexios, our first character, had a surprisingly difficult time having children. Went through 3 wives. Hopefully Traianos will be better than that in that department. But we'll simply have to see. Oh, I meant to change this to... I guess maybe I can still change it. Though actually, recreation probably is the better idea given our immense stress at the moment. Right, so as predicted, we lost our gold. But we got a lot of treasury, so... Didn't even realize I was mentoring her. Oh, I must have hit the wrong thing. Did not mean to mentor my wife in stewardship, but rather to romance her. Where is she? Okay, whatever. I'll romance her when she gets back. Come on. Create another kingdom level title. Guess as expensive as it is, let's hold a feast so we're completely de-stressed before going on our... Man, that's expensive. But we'll be completely de-stressed and I think our income is okay. Hopefully we'll get to go to university after this. Let's start building some buildings so we can complete our Shape the Realm oath. Looking for level 2 buildings that provide some economic benefit. Here, I think it's worth going and upgrading that one. That'll be 5. We'll need to do 3 more. Guess we could... Well, I think next time we'll swing the scales first and then try to dismiss her. Or whoever our regent is. Don't really need or want a regent. My wife's still traveling around? No. Never quite sure if that first decision on their romance scheme, if it matters which of those 4 options you pick. Let's go with gold. Give her all the credit to get the extra vassal opinion. Go with detailed ledgers. The increases to administrative vassal tax contribution, Republican vassal tax contribution. We will fully de-stress. Again, the plan is to go to university after this, so we want as little stress as possible. Take the gold here because do want the gold to be able to go on to university. There we go. Just to be sure, I'm assuming university. Well, yeah, it'll be 1500 almost certainly. So we'll just wait a little while, see if our vassals or anyone else has some activities we can go to. Guess we'll go with tactician here. Monthly lifestyle experience for martial characters also gives counter efficiency, additional counter efficiency to your men-at-arms, so good to have. Usually get it later, but don't want to spend gold. We're at 95% success, so just compliment our taste. Sure, we'll avoid stress. Again, don't really want to go to someone else's coronation. There's just not much you get to it. Even if you seize advantages, the best you're likely to get going to someone else's coronation is a little bit of gold. If it's your own liege's coronation, then you can advocate for your domain, which gives you development growth, which I tend to think is worth trying to get. So we could do this. What bothers me is this second here, second paragraph here. While the folks be on honing on our skills, there will be decent prizes for the victors. So that tends to make me think his prizes are going to suck. We could use a hostile trade experience. Concerned about if he is cheaped out on this grand tournament. He may have cheaped out on the accommodations, which might increase the risk of us dying or getting disfigured. So I think I will pass on his seemingly cheap grand tournament. All right. We'll put our wife on patronage to increase our learning. Since we're only level 2 education, I would really hope that we at least get to level 3. Just have to see here. Yeah, learning's 24, which is pretty good. Guess we'll pay for the shield. I think we'll need one more. Building to create. Okay, we can get rid of our entrenched regent. That's good. Okay, this is unfortunate, but it is important to have the highest studiousness we can, so we'll just go into debt. Hopefully we'll get out of it in a few months. Did romance our wife, so that's good. Waste of 66 gold, unfortunately. The first one, easy choice. Lose stress. highest studiousness. We will go with the top one, even though it's a lot of stress. Okay, let's roll the dice here. Good. So now we're almost at 4. Hopefully we get one more event so we can max out studiousness. Let's see here. We're currently building 2 buildings, and we are at 4 buildings. Thought we... Okay. No, we're building 3 buildings. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Okay, so we need to build 1 more building. It's forestry. And we'll wait till everything's built and fulfill our oath. The reason for that is when we fulfill our oath, we get a good bonus to building cost reduction, which is very useful. Make him ambitious, sure. Guess we could make him zealous if we wanted. Now make him ambitious. I'm sure that won't come back to bite us anytime. Certainly he won't be leading any factions or anything of that nature. Go with this top one to max out our studiousness. I certainly hope. Okay, yep, skill tactician, good. Usually I take the younger person here unless there's something really exceptional. So we'll go with Porphyrios. Intelligent daughter. Obviously it would have been better if it was an intelligent son, but take the daughter. And I say that not just because I'm sexist, but obviously it's easier to play a male character than a female one. Alright, okay, so we distribute our new martial perks here. We got up to absolute control, which is great. Give another +1 domain limit. So that university visit increased our domain limit by 2. One because we got to be a skilled tactician, the other one from absolute control. So now, oh, he is screwed. We'll accept. I mean, there's nothing we can do. We really need... I don't understand why we cannot submit to this guy, because I'm at war, okay? But even when I wasn't at war, so as soon as this war ends, which it should do very quickly, we really need to see if we can become the tributary of Vogel Ural here. I mean, they're just very threatening. Of course, we have another Scourge Conqueror to our south here, which is also concerning. But I think Vogel Ural is more powerful. But juggling Scourge Conquerors is certainly one of the challenges of playing this level of difficulty. It's one of the things that makes things interesting. So I'll just cut my budget and hand it to my vassals. This is what he did, unsurprisingly. You might be able to tell this is our bastard half-sister here, legitimated. That was when our first ruler, Alexios I, was trying to get a decent heir. But he failed and ended up with Traianos, who has, no genetic traits. I mean, he does have relatively good personality traits, but also he obviously had a terrible education somehow. But yeah, there's no way we're going to be able to defeat a Scourge Conqueror at this point. I mean, he's not martial, he's not an exalted warlord, which is good, but still, he has massive army, plenty of gold to hire mercenaries. It's not happening. So you really want to swear fealty or become his tributary, I should say, before he attacks us. As soon as he's done with the HRE, we will do that. 9 months. Man. Don't really know. On the one hand, I'm not doing much else. On the other, I don't know that I want to travel for 9 months. I think I will pass on that grand wedding. Should be about to complete our oath here. Guess we'll educate our daughter. And she is, overall quite a good character, born the purple, intelligent, so do very useful things. You usually do not get a good book artifact from taking the top one here, otherwise I would do it. Let's just take the stress and the gold, unfortunately. Here again, I think I'll just take the influence. Okay. So, shape the realm, that's good. Could go on inspection somewhere. Let's build some more buildings first. Again, just trying to get our economy stronger. I do think we're getting to the point where we could at least support our army if we had to fully raise it. For right now, I want to wait until this war of Vogel-Ural taking Bavaria is done, and then really see, if I can do something to prevent Vogel-Ural from attacking me. If I have to marry my daughter, get an alliance with them, I think that's what I will do. But I'm somewhat surprised they haven't attacked me yet, and I'm very concerned that they will. Talked before about not interested in going to other people's coronations, just don't think it matters. I say don't think it matters, I don't think it helps us in any way. Again, you have a little bit of a chance of getting some gold with C's advantages, but that's about it. Take the development growth at the cost of a little prestige. This is our brother here, who we already have one child, have another on the way, so I don't think our brother is going to be our heir. So I don't care too much about how he ends up. Good. Okay. We will educate him as well. Obviously that he's intelligent, born the purple, both very good traits. He should be grown up by the time I'm 50, so pretty good spread there. Just looking at these armies, you can see here are our allies, the Holy Roman Empire. I'm surprised this siege is going so slowly. Scourge conquerors get a massive siege bonus, so I don't know why. Yeah, I would assume this one would have been done in just a few days. Okay, we kept our word. That's good. I don't know why. Yeah, that's interesting. We went through the rule set at the beginning. We are playing Scourge of the Gods, Increase conquerors, all heirs, so all that's in place. This guy has the scourge-of-the-gods health bonus. He's conqueror, didn't just lose it. All right. Don't know. There was in our last series, there was a weird issue where Castile, this is when we were playing, starting as the Duke of Angria in 1178, but the King of Castile was a scourge conqueror. Scourge conquerors have a kingdom level casus belli that they just constantly spam to take over land. But for whatever reason, the Castilian Scourge Conqueror did not use that CB seemingly ever. Instead, he just used other people's claims to take land. It was very strange. I really just want the stewardship experience here. It seems all these people sort of like me, so let's get the stewardship experience. Okay. Can vassalize some neighbors here. That's that's all good. Not sure why they want me to vassalize them exactly, but I'm happy to do that. Just one of the things I vassalize them and they immediately rebel against me. No, this is a peasant. Okay, talked enough about don't like going to other people's coronations, so I won't. Still not going to your coronation. Guess can we create a king title? We can. We'll hold on to that. This war between Holy Roman Empire and Volga Ural is very strange. Partly I agreed to join it because I assumed that Volga Ural would steamroll the HRE and the war would end before the HRE would seek to complain that I haven't done anything yet. But the way this is going, the war might be going for quite a while. But it does look like HRE is about to be stack wiped, so that'll make the war go shorter. So still just peasants. But yeah, it's just odd that he's not sieging at a much faster pace. And you saw how the Volga Ural armies just devastated the Holy Roman Empire, stack wiped them, and they had a lot of armored footmen, good number of light horsemen. I mean, our armies might be a little bit more powerful than theirs, but if we send them in, we'll just get destroyed as well. And so we aren't going to do that. There's no reason to lose all our armies and waste all that gold and time and so forth. Have knights get killed and everything else. Instead, you have to do when you're playing at this level is really take your time and build up your forces and build up your power, build up your economy so that you can eventually take on Scourge Conquerors. Or at least that's how I play it. I'm always interested in seeing how other people would play this rule set. One of the reasons I started streaming was I was looking for people who played on very hard with Scourge Conquerors, Doomsday Plagues with Black Deaths, and so on and so forth, and I just couldn't find anyone. I'm going to raise my entire army here because I'm kind of curious how much it cost and what sort of economy we would have left. Looks like a quite good one. So again, we want to wait until this war for Bavaria ends. As soon as that happens, I want to get some sort of relationship with Volga Ural so they do not destroy me. And then at that point, we can think about perhaps switching our character back to Marshal and seeing who we can conquer. He has all of his children are adults. That's unfortunate. Okay, can't arrange a marriage because I'm at war with him. Sure. I assume all his children are married. Probably. No. Interesting. Okay. How close are we to industrious 8 years? I do like military schools. The other option would be tax offices for the gold. So it's really the economy versus military choice here. It does help a little bit with army gold maintenance. I think let's build the military academies. We do a nice amount of gold now. Let's not do any activities or anything until this war is over, and we can do something with Volga Ural to pacify them, hopefully. Otherwise, we'll just be living in fear of them forever, which will dissuade me from doing any wars. Another excellent son, good. That does mean that we will no longer be the ward of our daughter. Leave her to our tutor, who we need to get actually. Just reminded me, we absolutely need to get the best tutor we can. Half-sister is great. Have her and educate children. Wet nurse, good. It's good. Have her instill virtue. Change our eparch, who vanished for whatever reason. Wasn't replaced. I think that is on automatic replacement, right? Yeah. Okay. We'll proceed here. See what our children, what their educational, their childhood trait is before we decide on what their education will be. I mean, Marshal's probably the best thing, but I don't know. Guess we'll let him go. Very few options here. Guess we'll go with that one. Yeah, I just don't want to go to anyone's grand wedding. I don't want to be traveling. I want to see what happens when this war ends. I'll talk about that a few times now. That's good. Increases our long reign bonus. I mean, there are some interesting looking targets over here to our east. if we could be confident that we wouldn't get smashed by Volga Ural if we went over there. Hindustan is hitting our Hindustan is heading our way, which is also concerning. Assume they still have a Scourge Conqueror. Yes, and a relatively young one. He is losing some wars at the moment. He'll probably turn that around. This is really the challenge of playing the Byzantines, as you're located in the center of the map. You can be attacked from a lot of different directions and have Scourge Conquerors come at you from a number of different directions. I'm very surprised he's having such difficulties with this war against the Byzantines. And I guess let's go to this. Go to this wedding, get a few points of interest. Before, I was waiting for Volga Ural's war to conclude, but it's taking such a long time. He actually lost some war score. He went from 95% to 76%. So quite amusing here that our half-brother, who was not going to be an heir, and who was as debatable personality traits, strictly craven, ends up education, exalted warlord right off the bat. 3 stars better than our current character did. This will cement our alliance with the HRE that we are currently not doing anything to further, despite being called in. Much like alliances with a Scourge Conqueror are one-sided. If the AI finds out that alliances with me tend to be rather one-sided. Really. Okay, if you didn't like the current amount of bureaucracy, centralization, you're not going to like that. We can just bribe these people. Okay, cute. Alright, so he clearly is going to be martial. He's rowdy, it's intrigue or martial. I personally am not a huge intrigue fan, and playing intrigue using the hardest possible rule set is more difficult because we are on very hard difficulty, which means that there is a significant penalty to all the players' hostile schemes. Sort of cute there that I wait on that war to end for so long, then when I'm traveling, that's when it ends. Hopefully he won't attack me before I get back to Constantinople, and then I really will. Well, okay, let's stop here. What we were looking at is trying to get our daughter to marry one of his children. Let's see, my daughter, there's no one available. Okay. Well, there's just no one available, period. Alright, because I'm traveling, sure. Can't even do the... Alright. We'll just wait till we get back to Constantinople and cross our fingers. I keep saying I hope he doesn't attack me. I know we're going to get that pop-up screen that he's attacking me. Taking Bulgaria or something. So established silk production, I know it's incredibly expensive. Does it do anything else besides open up the Mulberry Copse building? No. And we're getting a lot of gold, but I think we can hold off on that. One thing I do want to do is have these 2 regiments of skirmishers that I did not create myself. I think I picked them up through inheritances. Don't want them or really need them. What I do really want is retinue vanguard. Some very powerful footmen. So we will create those. Significantly increase the strength of our armies. Let's fully de-stress here. Was it like 80 stress? So I want to get rid of it. Take the learning experience. We'll take more learning experience. Guess the Pope came to that wedding. Bit odd. Guess we'll go with pedagogy. It's either pedagogy or scientific. I guess I could also be swaying some of these people instead of just throwing gold at them. Might as well go to avaricious, and then we'll evaluate what we want to do in terms of his lifestyle. We will take that diplomacy perk, go with heart of the family, so then we can get room to rule if we get another one. One difference in pedagogy and groom to rule is that groom to rule takes effect regardless of how old the children are. Your children can be 60 years old. If you get groom to rule, that'll give them extra points. By contrast, for pedagogy, you need to have it before they're like either 14 or 15. I guess let's not get too cute. We'll just pay these guys and have them go away. We do have the gold, yes. I saw we just lost a lot of gold. That was from the retinue vanguard, so that makes sense. Again, well worth having them. All right. Please don't attack me. I promise I'm going to try to pacify you somehow. And he's just gobbling stuff up. I'm very surprised he hasn't attacked us. Grateful, but surprised. All right. Now we really have to do something here somehow. Okay, now I can submit to him. We'll go with meager tribute. See how that affects our taxes here. Yes, my suzerain, sure. How much does it cost for us to go to none? 750, but we'll need to bribe him. So you are now bribed. Now we will be paying no taxes to him, no prestige. Can we do that? No. He probably wouldn't accept it anyway because he's a Scourge Conqueror. Okay. So obviously cost us some gold there, but obviously the important part is we no longer have to worry about him. Let's make everyone pay. So I think it's time to test out our army now. Holy War for this duchy seems like a good place to do that. I guess we could get the other one. Yeah, let's get the other one. Oh, let's see where his capital is and get the one where his capital is located, since that'll probably be a faster war. It's actually the 2 counties here. Okay. Have a very powerful, very good general here. 41, also a supply master, so be able to keep our armies together for longer. That is all good. Don't need that new appointment. The next duchy, we'll give it to our half-brother. Seems like we're getting factions again. Maybe our vassals are forgetting what happened the last time they created factions against us. Maybe that was just those nomads, it looks like. I'm not going to give them any courtiers. Refusing to give them courtiers lessens their opinion of you, but it doesn't actually seem to cause them to do anything. They don't attack you or anything because you refuse to give them a courtier, or they don't break off the tributary relationship or anything of that nature. You guys just really want to rebel, huh? Almost certainly going with that top option. You know, we had 99% chance of success. Didn't cost us any gold or anything, so it was just a clearly the best thing to do. Complete the siege and go down here and attack him. He hired, assume a holy order, maybe. Yes, enemy holy order, but too late. We can create or usurp this duchy and give it to our half-brother. It did cause us to lose our wet nurse. Let's see if we can hire a better one. One thing that helped Alexios later in his life is we had a influential eunuch that was giving us +2 domain limit, which is very useful, but unfortunately we have that eunuch died and haven't been able to find another one who can give us that. You know, there are some downsides to having an influential eunuch, but I think they're all, you know, at least manageable or even sort of minor or relevant compared to the +2 domain limit, which is just incredibly powerful. Especially since we're playing with -3 domain limit for the player only. So it's like, you know, our armies obviously performed very well there. These people can still stay in prison. Can we attack you to get Jerusalem? Oh, we can. You are in debt. You have fewer men than us. I assume lower army quality. Yeah. So Jerusalem, just a very powerful holding. It's one I will definitely keep. See the Dome of the Rock here. Just great benefits. It would put us right next to this Scourge Conqueror, who is incredibly powerful, though. Maybe we should wait. Also concerned about Hindustan is really getting close to us. could just grab a duchy from this guy. Or we could wait a bit. Okay, looks like some plague is breaking out in Syria. Just gives him 3 stress. Happy to do that. Okay, sent by Shaitan. So esoteric practices. It's a bit annoying that my son's name is so long. It can't see his age. I thought I was educating him. Okay, so now I'm educating him. Make him diligent. Diligent has, downside with just a massive amount of stress. I think it makes it more difficult to reduce your stress, but it gives you a massive amount of skill points, 8 more than the other personality trait. So happy to have it. What? Curious what I need. Is it just like a Norse character or what? I would like to have that position filled, especially for the heavy infantry benefit. Find like Swedish characters or something. Can't search by culture. You can search by culture. You see it there. Okay. Guess let's invite some of these Swedish guys to our court if we can. See if one of them would be a good Akoluthos, something of that nature. Again, I apologize for my terrible pronunciations. What is that plague? Oh crap, we have a lot of plagues. Alright. Okay. We'll isolate our capital. Man, a measles plague, that's very bad. Don't want it to kill my children. Inner seclusion, we have him on control plagues. Okay. Now we will sit here. Try to get through this plague before we do anything else. Seems like every plague that touches our realm comes and hits Constantinople. I assume because that's coastal, and it does seem like counties on coast and rivers are far more likely to get plagues, which makes some sense. We'll try to have some more children. Why do I even have a regent? Okay, not sure I can't rule by myself. Is it because I'm secluded? Yeah, we have plenty of prestige. Always want more gold. Again, we'll stay in stewardship until we get one more perk. Become avaricious. And then we will likely go back, I think, at that point. to being marshal. Again, just waiting out this plague. I want to stay secluded for the seclusion benefit. Hopefully my heirs do not get measles. Okay, one just did. Great. All right. Well, whatever. Let's hold off developing the capital. You guys, Jesus. Okay. Get the relatively positive confiter trait. Okay, both my sons died. Great, just great. Probably our next son will be some crappy kid with no genetic traits and not born in the purple. Back to our daughter, who is horribly disfigured. I guess we'll leave her as a diplomat. You know, it could help her if she has to take over, avoid all these factions and rebellions. There was a time when I played CK3 when I really liked, when I got bigger realms, having all my characters educated in diplomacy, just because it's so strong for managing vassals. You know, I think I eventually concluded that that wasn't necessary, and like everyone else, I just went stewardship for the extra domain limit. But I do think diplomacy is still very strong when you have a large empire. Go with the Hippodrome. Really want to repeat what I've already done here. Go with Promised Prosperity. Hopefully my wife and I have some more children. I don't really want to hold any events. I mean, I guess to some extent you could say it doesn't. What the? Wow! What in the world? Okay. We'll trust his judgment. I'm sure he'll just drop. So, Vogel Ural just absolutely exploded. So the Vogel Ural Empire used to occupy, all this land here. Must have been a dissolution faction. It's the only thing I can possibly think. Weird. It doesn't say. I'm not seeing where it says there was a dissolution faction against him. I don't know why his realm just absolutely blew apart. We will see how we can pick up the pieces and vassalize as many as possible, I think. Not sure there's a reason not to vassalize them. Gives us something to do while we wait for this plague to be over. Now it's killed 2 of my children. Of course, these people are still being annoying. See the power of the thoughtful perk here, just very useful in terms of getting people out of factions. Plus 80 is the magic number there. Okay, take it. Being rated way up there. See if I can create more titles that might allow for more vassalizations. It looks like not at the moment. You are not a good chancellor. We will decline. Just attend diplomacy. Okay. I already have redouble guards on. Yes, this scheme has very low chance of succeeding, so I don't think I need to worry about it too much. We'll get dogs here for the stress reduction, just like dogs. Dot puppies. And the Grand Stable is nice for the extra army movement speed. That can be helpful, and the travel speed is great. This, I mean, really, reduces your stress gain. So it's a fair trade-off, I think, between these two. I usually don't do the third one. It helps a bit. Obviously, your charioteer is better, but I think the top two are more useful. I think we'll go with the kennel. Just love the, like dogs, like stress relief. Don't like this never-ending plague. Here, buddy. Oh, okay. We probably have enough influence, and we're far enough away from any of our children inheriting that we can look at turning some of our vassals into administrative. Guess we'll give them some hooks. Yeah, so some of this makes sense in that because I've given hooks to people that become my counselors, then what happens is people pushed out those counselor positions are agitated, which lose opinion of me, which does make sense. Great. Okay, I think this plague is finally clearing up. Talked before about aiding tribal development. Okay, and with that, I would call the episode here. We did fix our economy, I think. We've had to deal with a lot of plagues. Jesus. What's the next plague? But we did expand a bit through vassalization. We managed some factions. But I think we've put ourselves, and we did win a war over here. I do think at this point we've put ourselves in a position where we can start looking at more wars. Would be interested in seeing how much of Hungary we can take over. I'm a bit cautious about going to our east because of Hindustan and because of the Yusufid Empire. Maybe once their scourge conquerors die, I'll feel better about expanding toward them. We did pacify Volga Ural, only to have them absolutely explode. So lots of stuff did happen this episode. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Hope you'll join me for the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.